to Unfiltered Discussions. You got Nash in the building.
You got Ash in the building.
What you got for us today?
Well, today we have two special guests. We have Kyra and we have Robin from Pushin30s podcast.
Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, absolutely. So we're just gonna get straight into it, right? Pushin30s podcast. First, I have to say, very 90ish, very edgy, right?
Mm-hmm.
What made you guys come up with it?
It's the journey of the 30s. I mean, we're just starting. We're not there yet, but we just want to share like and our experience of how it's about to go for like the next few years.
Almost like a guide for like the late 20s, mid 20s, even if it's like early 20s, and then even the people that are like already in their 30s, like just like stories and different like things that we learned that we had to learn the hard way, just so we can like guide the younger versions.
We want to be actually honest.
Yeah, like
it's like shit's not easy, but we got through it, and here's how we got through it. Here's what we're gonna do, or here's what we plan to do. So,
and then also just so they can see it, like this is what to expect. It's not necessarily going to be the same as our journey, but don't feel like you're like behind it, like because that's how it should be at this time.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of still like
figuring
figuring it out.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I guess let's see, who do I want to go to? Okay, so Robin.
okay.
How long did you want to do a podcast?
How long? I mean, honestly, it probably was like 3 years ago. I had a couple people ask me, like, they were starting, like, they would do Instagram Live when that became a thing.
Okay.
And I was just like, I don't know if I'm ready for all this. And then Kyra's just like, she got real passionate about it, so I'm not gonna lie, she definitely is a motivating force. And I just like, that's my best friend, gotta support her. And she chose me, so.
That's dope. So Kyra, like, so as Robin just said, like, you really like put the fire underneath for her to say, like let's go, we gotta start this podcast, right? Sounds familiar.
Oh yeah.
I mean, so like, what was it? Like, why do you feel like y'all needed to get your voices out to the world?
Like most of the time when we are like around each other, we'll be talking and like having a conversation and being like, girl, like we could have been recording for a podcast, because when we are around each other, other people will be like, yo, y'all should do a podcast, like y'all really funny, or like y'all really be saying stuff, like y'all really be giving good advice. And we are the friends that people call when they want advice, or when they want to make a rational decision or irrational.
Yeah.
Like they'll call us like, what should we do? So it's like, if we have a voice that other people close to us recognize and know that like we got something to say, or whatever we're saying is valid, it's like, why not share?
I agree 1,000%.
I love to see it. So it's really more so like providing insight to those who have a lack of understanding when it comes to certain topics and different scenarios and certain things that they may have been through, but they might feel like they're alone. In a sense, I love it. I love the scenario because it sounds very familiar.
That's how it is.
And the fact that you're best friends and you already got that chemistry there, so you already know how to, feed off each other. Exactly. Have y'all ever thought about bringing another person in, or was that in the making?
We tried that.
Okay.
And we know what I will have to say, because I think for me and her, like, we know each other so well. We always talk all the day. Like, literally, both our jobs is just fucking talking. I know for me, like, my whole career is just fucking talking all day long. So I think, like, when you bring other people in, it's not, they don't be on the same page. It's just like, I can already know what she does, and she already know what I done did. And we know, like, it is what it is. And it's just like when you bring a third person, that makes sometimes like your ideas always don't coincide with each other. We're not on the same page. It's just like me and her, like you said, like you just feed off of each other. Like so it's good. We will bring in new people. We will have other hosts as well. But I think the main is just us, and you bring other people in sometimes.
It was a time when we actually like recorded with other people, but it was just like the dynamic wasn't the same, and it was only because we wanted someone like opposite of us, because we're so similar. So it was like, oh, if we had someone opposite, it would kind of break it up and make it not feel like everything we say is like the same thing.
Yeah.
But it worked out.
I do think we should try a guy though, because we didn't do that. Like every guest that we did try recording with was always a female. So maybe that may be the opposite that we need, is a male's view opinion. Not all the time.
Yeah, but maybe we'll just have one as a guest.
But just as a guest, yeah. But we gotta try a guest fee like that, because we didn't do it that way either.
We didn't. And I also want to say, I was the fire under her, but you were the fire under me.
Bunch of little fires everywhere.
Yeah, no, I mean, because at the end of the day, if you hear somebody passionate about something, right, I think it's extremely important to push it, right? You gotta push it. I could see if someone was coming and they was speaking in a way and it was like, because I listen to understand, so I'm like, okay, no, she really got something, so why not push it, right? Push it. Like, you can't wait, right? Especially what you say, y'all waited 3 years. You know, y'all been thinking about it, why not get it out there, right? Because even Ash, like with Ash, I'm like, oh no, we like, if the pandemic came, I'm like, no, we doing this now. Like, we got, give me a date. I said, no, I need a date. Like, I want to be going out here, right?
It's
She
funny.
said, bro, we gotta be consistent, guys. I'm like, all right, what's that?
Absolutely.
But she definitely said that, because I will always say, you know what, we talking about some good stuff here. Why can't we, and I said that, but I was more so like, to be honest, like kind of like nervous in a sense, because I don't get in front of the camera. I don't know if I would get my voice out there. People really want to hear what I gotta say. Like, so she definitely was like, no, let's get.
You got
it
to.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's extremely important. Like I said, if I'm speaking and I hear something, I'm like, yeah, go tell the world. I mean, everybody pick and choose what they want to do in life. Like, this is my outlet, right? We have like a high stress job or life period. You need an outlet, right? Some people go shopping, which I need to stop spending on money. So that can't be the outlet right now, right? So it's just like, at the end of the day, you gotta have somewhere to spill it out to, right? And what's the better way to everybody on the internet, right?
Right, it's true.
So that's it.
I will say, like, the internet really changed the game, because you can really get outreach further. It don't have to be just here. It can be someone in Saudi Arabia, someone in Africa listening. Absolutely. So I think that is the best thing about the internet being just a thing in general. You get a further reach. Yeah. I feel like it's more control. Yeah, it's more accessible to see other things that's going around. Like, you get more things to live about, because what you think you know, you really don't know till you see more.
Absolutely. So it provides a platform, right? So that's why it's extremely important to know what you're putting out there, right? So when it comes down to content and things like that, right? Because when we started the podcast, I'm like, no, like, I'm not trying to like do this, you know what I mean? So you really got to know what you're trying to pull from, what you're trying to give to the universe at the end of the day. Like, for example, so I know y'all two going to sit, y'all going, bounce off each other and the things that y'all. What is like the main thing that y'all going to be discussing on your podcast?
So the main thing that we wanted to really like focus on was like relationships, and it doesn't necessarily mean like just like romantic relationships. It's like friendships, like all that, like work relationships, like things that maybe you probably would take more personal in your younger years, but as you get older, you kind of see like it's just not that deep. Like, let people go if you feel like you outgrown them, like things like that. Like maintaining them if you feel like you are like so deep in like your work. That always was a thing for me. Like in my early 20s and mid 20s and stuff, I always was like always at work, and I always felt like I was missing out on the fun or missing out on just anything like events. And as I got older, it paid off, but back then I couldn't see it. So like, even like people if they're in the same predicament that I was in younger, like I just want to let them know it's gonna be alright.
Absolutely, yeah, I like 1,000%.
Me, I'm definitely a crackhead for change. Like, I love spontaneousness, and I think for me, like, my growth is I'm trying to figure out how to be not so spontaneous and be more planned. And because I'm not, like, I could move somewhere else and I won't necessarily be by myself, but I try to find like new things that are going to be adventurous to me, but also being in new situations, like you don't really know everything like you got to figure things out. I kind of like a challenge because I also put myself in there, because I feel like you're always supposed to go to things that you fear. And like she said, like a fear of missing out, like I had a fear, like if I don't, have a good job and I'm also not living, like going out and party, like having fun, like what am I really doing? So I don't have any kids, I'm single, so I get to have as much fun as I want to. So I think for me, on my side, it's going to be like, definitely talking about career, because as much as I go out and have fun, also I'm about work. I'll never not have no job. Like, you always got to make sure. And I'm a firm believer of quit the damn job. I'm a quitter. I ain't never worked a job a whole year. And I always get a good job. Keep me trying to figure out how you be working for these Fortune 500 companies. Like, it's just that. That's all I really give a fuck about. And you can redo your resume. I'm a cheater at the resume all day long. I will stem the fuck out of that shit. I've never heard anybody say no bad thing about me at work, because I get this shit done. They do what it's supposed to be doing. So, Change your career because I definitely don't stick to a job. Like, I always have one, but I don't stay to it too long. Friends, I always go through that circle, like, because sometimes it's like you do want to be holding on to friends that you know you're not supposed to, or they know they're not feeding you, but you know, time is a lot that you hold on to people. So definitely letting go and moving on from that. Definitely me trying to be more stagnant and be more prepared, like, with just staying to something. And so for me, that's also that.
Yeah, both of us suffer from like committing to something.
With
like,
commitment
like,
issues.
This podcast will actually help with it. Like,
yeah, this is, we want to see our growth. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to have something audible to listen back to because time is really short and you want to put out as much of yourself as you can because you don't know when you're going to leave this earth. So you got to make definitely a good impact. Like, I didn't want to make this about gossip. I wanted to literally make it about how we go on vacation, how we save money, how it really feel to move out on your own, how it feel to pay that goddamn car note every goddamn month, like, or switching over to get a new car. Like, you know, just real things that you want to know that you wish somebody told you about.
And also things that people can relate to. Like, it's like, yeah, we are doing all these things, but we still are enjoying life. And I think a lot of times, like, I would just say, like, maybe like a couple years ago, I always thought that 30 is so old. Oh my God, what am I going to do when I was 30? But when I was in high school, I thought 22 was old. Like, just being like, dang, I'm going to probably finish college at 22. Everything's going to be over. The world is like, it's like, no, we want to show people, like, you're not old. Like, your life really is just beginning.
This is where your
and you lay
coming
your foundation in your 20s, so you can enjoy life in your 30s.
All day long, too.
Yeah.
See, you know, I think my fear of the 30s was more so like I'm not going to be established how I want to be established. That I always look forward to, but I look forward to in the sense that I know I'm going to have my shit together come that time, like, and I'm not.
You know, it's so crazy, you know, when you say, you know, not being established because a lot of people feel less than because they feel like other people in front of them are doing things before they do them, but just really letting somebody know, like, your time is going to be your time.
Right.
You know, or you feeling like, dang, I didn't get my first house, until I was 32 years old or 30, I didn't, you know. So a lot of people moving out, getting apartments and all this stuff. Not that somebody felt less than, I still held on to my dream of getting the things that I wanted to get. So you just gotta always know where you're going at the end of the day. So I definitely like that.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. I mean, because it's always a bigger picture, right? Like, at least for me, like, I can go ahead and because everything is a connecting the dots in life, right? So I heard all that, like, because I enjoyed my 20s, right?
Oh, yes.
I sure did. And with no regrets, though, because it's extremely important to do what you want to do, live your life. Then when we do start settling down, you don't feel like you missed out on anything, right?
And that's how I feel like, well, like, am I in my peak? Because I really did a lot of things. Like, I feel like I was more hungrier in my younger years. Like, when I say do more, like, I don't feel established. Like, I know I did a whole lot of shit that took up my whole entire day. Yeah. And now I just want to work smarter, not harder. But I feel like there's always more I could put on my plate. But I don't have, like, you know, you just be, I don't know, I just started off being younger, like, just being always working, but I still knew how to fun. Now, I be tired at 9 o'clock after work. I'm tired.
And it's important to find that balance, right? You got to find balance in life. Like, fun is fun, work is work, you know what I mean? But you got to have a balance in all of it, right? And then the stuff that you think is fun now, you're going to look back like, I ain't doing that. Once you start hitting certain ages, like you said, I want to be at 9 o'clock, yes. Because your life is different now, your responsibilities are different now, it's structured different now. So, again, that's why it's good to get it all out in the 20s. Because like you said, you don't have kids right now, right? And honestly, that's not a bad thing because it's sometimes kids going to make you a better person or it's going to slow you down.
We talk about that all the time. Like, kids you got to be a motivation force if you're going to be in a bad
you don't know what it's going to do for you until you get in that situation. But if you know you're a person that's like, listen, I'm not ready for no kids. Like, and because some people really think like, kind of like selfish, right?
Yeah.
Like, I like to take trips. I got kids and I take trips. I do. You know what I mean? So it doesn't stop your life. Like, do you got to like maneuver a little bit different? Absolutely, you do, right? Because you're responsible for somebody else. But at the same time, it feel like you got more. Like, I'm speaking for myself. Like, more on that. Like, now I got to up the ante. Like, I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z. This, and this, and this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It puts you on another playing field at the end of the day, right? So again, I always tell people having kids is to a woman's discretion. Like, I don't like when people say, "Oh, you ain't got no kids, you ain't." You don't know the situation.
We always go
You
to
don't
that
know
all the
if somebody
time.
got facility issues or
Right.
Exactly. You don't know if they had a miscarriage last month. That's none of your damn business. You don't say don't put no stress on nobody else's uterus.
Yeah, really,
that part. and you get people that are very rude. Like, why do you gotta be in a category of doing things that everybody else is doing?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I used to get that a lot. Like, well, when you hit, and I used to be like, what? Like
for me.
Yeah.
And I always feel like maybe like the process in which I want to do it is not the same process in which you do it, and I don't want to tell you like, oh, this is what what I want to do, this is the way I want to plan it out, because it might be insulting to you because that's not the journey that you took. So if I have enough discretion to be like, let me not say that because she didn't take that route, why can't you have the same discretion to be like, I ain't going to ask her like, oh, you still don't got no kids? And it's like, well, how did that turn out for you? Like, that's, you know, like, you don't want to.
Yeah, that's not always a good thing, and that be people biases. They be their own stuff that they want to project on the other people, and then now I gotta feel some kind of way because you feel some kind of way about me not having children.
No, because they actually plant a seed, right? You don't even know that they plant a seed inside of you. And like when they listen, like, oh, you ain't got no kids, and it's like, and now you got me thinking about it, right? Like, which is not cool because at the end of the day, like you said, this is my process, and then you don't know. Maybe I've been trying and I can't get pregnant. Like, you really don't know what I'm going through on the inside. But yeah, so a lot of people that's listening need to be more mindful about that, because you get them questions all the time. Where if you're in a relationship or married, y'all haven't,
that might not be on the top of our list right now. Like,
excuse
that's
me.
not my top.
Like, I just feel like there's so many other things that I need to do or I would like to do first. It doesn't necessarily have to be as perfect in the order that I envision it, but something gotta be
right. Like, for
checked
me,
off the list.
I don't want to have kids, so I have nanny money. I want a nanny.
Oh, you want a nanny?
I
like that.
I want a nanny. Like, and I need to have money for 3. Me, my child, and the extras. Because, you can count your partner in. But that's how, so for me, it's always financials. I have nanny money because I'm going to need a damn break.
Well, see, you know that's self-awareness.
I know
at
that.
the end of the day. Some people don't have that self-awareness. So now you got it. Now you up one. Oh, yeah, no, I'm going to do this. And you have the ability to do so. I got a good career.
I can hear me when I carry my nanny everywhere.
She won't tell Kardashian situation. But which is cool because you know that about yourself.
I know I like to do things a whole lot easier, and kids really all work. I get my nieces and nephews, and that'd be a lot. It'd be a lot, and I really commend people because 2 kids, they be running everywhere in 2 different personalities. Like, it'd be a lot, but I know that's not for now for me. Want to be a mother, would love to be a mother, just not now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
for me, it's like, I feel like when you have children, you literally come close to death.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to sacrifice my life and carry your child, oh, you better put me on the highest pedestal. So, like, I've been with
we need rings.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I've been with my boyfriend for so long, but where is the ring, honey? Like, yes, you will be able to have a child, but you're going to have to show me that's what you want. Like actually, like, give me a ring, let's do, and then we'll move from there. Like, I'm not going to just be like, oh, like,
we're married,
okay, that's what you want to do, but it's like, fair exchange is no robbery. If I want a ring and you want a child, these are the things that need to be done in order for you to get there. Like,
yeah, because kids are life commitments. Like, seriously, and I was saying this shit. I was like, I need a nanny because I wouldn't leave my child when my nanny, she won't be right by my side. But I wouldn't leave my child with nobody. She's there just for that one single job. And I know, like, people drop their kids off with the grandparents. But I need someone to be focused on my child like it's their damn job. Because I know it's supposed to be mine, but let's share if I'm going to pay you for it. Let's share a little bit of that responsibility. And it's just like you said, like, yeah, like, that shit is no joke. Like, you have heart attacks. Like, I know I wouldn't put my kid in daycare. That's me. Because I don't trust the motherfuckers in daycare. And people been crazy now since Corona. People snatching kids, coughing in the kids' faces and shit, beating them in the closet. You won't do that. I lose my fucking mind. Yeah. You been seeing that shit? Oh, no Phillies, no guns on snatching. I would kill somebody for my child. That means I don't want to work either. So, I need all the time. Yeah. It's too much. Because,
but
I would want that time.
You won't really know until you in it.
Until you
yeah, that's what I have all these plans.
And and it's funny that you speak on the marriage before the kids thing, 'cause we did a podcast.
Yeah, we did.
Right. And at the end of the day, again, everybody has their standards, right? Everybody has their checklist. But it's crazy because you never know, like, is the other person thinking about marriage? You know what I mean? Like, because I just feel like, you know, relationships is a sticky situation, right? So it's like, for some odd reason, it's like men know. Like, we know, we be going there and all planned out before the person even comes in.
Right. So now I want to wear
like elementary school. Like,
my
your dress.
Yeah, but with men, it's different. Like, men know what they're going to do, what they want to do, and I don't care if you do the tricks, you do the, either they is or they ain't.
Right.
Okay.
And this is like, at the end of the day, I'm not proposing on niggas, so he wants.
And I'm not going to force you. If that's
and
not
I sure
what you
right
want,
here.
what we don't want is not the same, then
let me be
it's
free.
just not meant to be. Like, let the person free. Like, don't hold them.
So that's why I think that it's extremely important to have those tough conversations, right? Because life is passing by, right? You might love somebody to death, or you feel like you love them to death, right? And life is passing by. Like, those tender years, like, yeah, we joke, we like pushing 30s, right?
Right.
As women, we know are
is it?
And that's the sad part for men. They could go
to 70 years old,
right?
They be like
my baby
Brian
my brother twins at 75.
But that's what I mean. So for women, it's different for us, and that's just the truth.
The clock is ticking.
So that's why them tough conversations got to be had. And oftentimes we think because we in a routine, right? Because a lot of times in relationships is routine. So we just think everything is all good. We all do because we do it every day, right? But you always got to come back to that table to see if we still on the same page. Do we still want the same thing? But are people prepared for those kind of conversations? What are you going to do once I tell you that Ariana don't look the same? We was this way, now I'm this way, you over there.
Right.
Are we going to come back here, or are we going to have to separate? But a lot of people aren't ready for that. But if you know for a fact, like, listen, I want to be married, I want to be this. Do this person want to be married too?
Right.
Just because they feel like we a married couple, but do you want to be married?
That's important.
And that's the conversation that got to
some
be
people
had
get content with the like you said, the routine, and that becomes the norm. So you don't see nothing outside that norm when it comes to that. And then you look around and it's 5 or 6 years later, and you're looking around and it's like, hello, what's happening here, right? And then you also don't want to be in a position where you feel like you just got a sympathy ring.
Right.
Where they like, well, I might as well marry the bitch. She been around for all my trials and tribulations. So
I'm not about it.
Let me go ahead and just marry her since she been there. You know what I mean? And we always talk about that as well. And those conversations definitely need to be had, like she said, because that lets you know exactly what it is and it ain't. And then if they saying that, then you don't have no choice but to respect what's happening and move forward.
And I think a lot of times, men, I'm not gonna say all men, but most men, they associate marriage with like this big celebration. It doesn't necessarily have to be that. They look at it like, oh, then we gotta pay for this giant wedding. It's like, no, you could elope. Like, you don't have to do the whole extravagant thing. If you really want to be married to somebody, why not? Especially if you've been together after all these years. It's like what's stopping you?
What's stopping you from spending your life? Because I need to commit.
Because you already had spent this much time, and there hasn't really been any situations that's like, oh, I can't do this anymore. So it's like, what would be next?
Yeah, and that's what. Absolutely. That's the way that difficult. That's why I say them difficult conversations has to be had at the end of the day, because we can only assume. Do you want to get married? Do you want? No, but that's the thing. Because if we're communicating, you know, I'm not looking for no big damn way.
Yeah.
Let's go down to the Justice of the Peace and we hopping on the plane to celebrate. Period.
I say all the time, I don't want a wedding, don't need no bridesmaids. We just need to go on vacation for a month. That's all I'm asking.
Half the
that's
time
the wedding.
When the wedding be talking about you hating it.
Yeah, I'm not letting
decorations. Look at the
I'm not paying for you motherfuckers to talk about the men. $25. I'm not doing that. No, I'm gonna do a girls trip on the last day. I'm gonna say everybody wear all black for the dinner. And that's the fuck it. I don't even want to marry myself. I don't need no I want to ordain myself. Like, I'm there. It's just me and my man up here. I don't need no extras.
So I just like that y'all want to be having those relationships, topics and things, because again, now I heard, so y'all are set of best friends, we're a set of best friends, right? What is y'all definition of a friend though? What do you think a friend is?
I mean, honestly, someone that always want to see you like in good spirits. Like they I mean, like I could say about Kyra, 10 years of friendship, I ain't never have to question her. Whether I'm with her, around her, like, somebody can tell me Kyra robbed the goddamn store and I wouldn't believe that shit. Not my Kyra. Like, no, so if she could be on camera shooting, I still say that wasn't Kyra. Like, because I know her. It's just like, if I know I can trust you outside of not even being with you, like you a friend. If I know that you ain't never hate on me, I know that you always make sure we look out for each other. Like I got a job, she got a job. I'm looking for a job, she gonna tell me what a job is. It ain't never been I had to like second guess. I don't want to feel. It should be easy. It shouldn't be a task. It shouldn't feel like it's a harping like that. I gotta bury. Here she come again. Like no, it's just like I know we about to have a good time. I know we about to talk. I know we about to eat good. Like we got to we do a lot of things good. Like I don't know. Like I just can't explain. It's good energy.
Yeah.
And I never got nothing like even when we be mad together and then start talking like 2 minutes later.
Yeah.
Or we get I think sitting in silence. That's a real test of time with a friend. We could be in the house taking naps for 3 days.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just I don't know. I just told you my person.
Yeah.
But it's just like a good best friend is like you could tell her everything. No, you're not gonna be judged about it. You could be real. We done seen some family situations from each other, some real shit. So it's just like, and then they never got out. I ain't never heard nobody tell me Kyra said and vice versa. Like that's how I know shit. I know she was my wife.
Yeah. Our situation, like a lot of times. With people who we were friends with in the past, we find ourselves like, oh my God, I did this, I did that. It's like we give more than we receive. With us, it's equal. And even if in a situation, if it's probably not, it's like we don't even count. We don't notice it. And like we know we can call each other whenever like we are in a situation like, oh my God, girl, tell me if I'm wrong or whatever the case. And we really will tell each other. Like most people have like the yes man, like, girl, no. Go key his car. Like they'll have like a friend that's like that.
We're gonna go key the car too.
Yeah, but
no,
but like she'll be like, listen, I know you don't want to hear this, but you are wrong. You should say something, but maybe not in that tone. If you said it like that, it's like the way that we talk to each other, and we are more like siblings than it is like friends, I would say. Cause we argue too, like siblings. And then we be like right back, like it'll be like, it's like we have, and our arguments, that's another thing. Like if we do have like an argument, our argument is for a resolution. It's not so much like, you this, you that. It's more like,
and we never talk about the terms to each other. I don't think we ever said anything that we would never take back. And I kind of say that, we talk about what's the problem.
Our arguments still have like respect. Like we respect each other as friends, and a lot of times you find in like certain friendships, the respect might be one-sided. Like, and I feel like all relationships, like respect is one of the biggest factors.
Absolutely.
And when it comes to us, it's like that's like priority. We always respect each other, and
Yeah, and you don't play about your friend. Like,
no.
Kyra
be the first one. She like,
brother.
And they said, and it don't matter if it be off. She like, what they said. I'm like, damn, girl. But I can always respect that. I never think that she lied to me ever. Like, ever. She might be best friend Jesus for all I know.
Like, wait, did I tell you this? Well, let me tell you.
Yeah, like, can nobody ever, I can never question her, so.
Yeah,
I
love that.
That's the beauty of that. I love it.
Yeah,
that's how you know. Yeah,
that's the perfect definition. For sure.
Yep. I mean, you gotta be able to be like that in your friendship, right? Like the honesty has to be on the table. You know what I mean? The respect, definitely, because you never really think about it that way, and we talked about that too. Like, people just assume, oh, we friends, I could deal with you anyway. No, you're not. No, you're not, because now we're not gonna be friends anymore. Now,
right?
So we talk about that all the time. And just because people fucking realize, like, just because we best friends think that we don't go through stuff. Yeah, we go through stuff, but we're talking it out. We're like you said,
it's how you get through it.
Yeah, and we're doing it that day.
But people just be hating.
That's another thing. We don't compete. We're not like competing. Like so many people will secretly compete with you. Like, and it's just like that's weird. Like, or be like your friend just so they can be like
just
in the know of anything that you're doing, so they can try to embrace you to something that you gave an idea to them about, or like try to steal your idea.
It's the bad
thing. She'll bring up a top thing, and I be like, damn, you know what? I think about that too. You know what? I think I want to do that. I don't know. You think so? I don't know. I never really. It's nothing like that, because if somebody your friend, they won't want to see you when regardless of the same ideas. But you got some people that won't say nothing like, oh, I wanted to do that, but she took it already.
And it's like, why not just say it so I know about him? I don't want to have to find out from somebody else. I had a friend do that. I gave her a whole idea for like what I was gonna do for a little birthday photo shoot. Went on vacation. She did the whole entire birthday photo shoot. Trash with nowhere. She's not even doing what she thought she was doing. And it's just like, well, what did you gain out of that? And if you said that you had that same idea, we talked about this for 6 months, and I even said as my friend, I want you to do the photo shoot for me. And it's just like, that's the things that people will do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you didn't get nothing out of it because where'd it go? Nowhere. Because it wasn't your damn idea.
It wasn't your
And what did you reap out of that? Nothing. And you just
Mhm.
wasted your time because it wasn't executed how it could have been with me. And I wanted to use you anyway for it.
Right.
So it just be
Blocking
crazy.
your blessings.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It just be crazy, but I mean, that's what people do. But, you know.
Yeah, I think it's extremely important to know your own lane in anything in life, right? And know, like I said, this technology, that's an Ashley thing. Like, I tell her in a second, that's not my thing. That's you. Do this, do. I know my lane, right? I know what's for me, what I'm doing, what I ain't doing. You know what I mean? Some people will go ahead and get involved in things that they know they're going to go, they're not even interested in, right?
Mhm.
Just to be a part of something,
Yeah.
no real talk. And it's like, but you can tell.
Yeah.
You can only hold it up for so long because
Right.
this ain't your thing.
Yeah.
I be quick to say I can't do that.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you gotta really be true to yourself at the end of the day and have that self-awareness to know what you want, where you going, you know, where you're not going. 'Cause
Right.
I'm not going down that path. That's not my thing. You know what I mean? But as she said, oh, I want to do real estate, so that ain't my thing. Do your thing.
Oh, we just
But
said
we
we
laughed,
love ATVs.
Cause we talked,
Right.
I talked about, I said, you know what? I should have like did construction. Something, you know what? I could do that too.
Because I'm real handy,
That's what
right?
we do.
So,
We're
like,
hands on. So we could do that. Now we both do.
now that I can do it.
We both hands on that
I'm
level.
not-
See,
But
we
yeah.
refurbish and stuff, so let's go ahead and get our little refurbished construction.
Yeah, like I'm
company.
doing that interior design,
Yeah.
like certain stuff, you know,
Yes.
it's just my thing. But if it ain't my thing, I'm not getting in that lane.
Mm-hmm.
What is y'all goals for your podcast?
All right. So, as far as like, I think that like for one, right now we only are available on Apple and Spotify.
Okay.
Eventually, we want to be available on all platforms. That's for one.
That's
That's like
short
short
how
term.
later. Don't worry.
Okay. thank
Yes.
you. But ultimately, I want to be in my 40s, late 30s, listening back like, wow, we really evolved. Like almost like it's like a reflection of the past and like a little time capsule. And I want my cousins that's in their teens now to be listening like, listen, I listened to that and it changed. So I just ultimately wanted to affect people in a positive way
Mm-hmm.
where they didn't have to do something because they heard it here and they were like, oh, that's a red flag. This is why I didn't do it. So the ultimate goal for me, I don't know if it's the same, but ultimately I wanted to be like basically not so much precautionary because it's going to be some good stories too, but like I want people to change the way they look at going on to your 30s. Yeah, like change your perspective. Like don't necessarily think like, oh, my 20s are dead, my life is over, or you know, because I didn't do this by this age, because like with the both of us, we don't have children, we're not married right now. That doesn't mean that it's impossible to happen because you missed that mark, you missed that age. So I want them to know like any age after 20s, it's possible. Ultimately, like, because of course we will be recording when we are in our 30s, but you just want them to know, like, when you pushing 30, like, it's not the end of the world because you didn't do this, and this. It's the world has just begun, really.
Absolutely, I agree 1,000%.
For me, I think I definitely, because I'm a cheap person, I want to share my tips on how to save, ladies. Okay, like travel.
She definitely do that.
Yeah, I save $1 and a dime because I'm gonna spend more money on my wants, so I can spend more. Like I like to spend less money on my needs because needs come more often. So I would definitely want to get into that, like ways that I figure out how to save, and I'm in finances, so I definitely want to talk about like things I didn't know, like. Why didn't they tell us about 401ks? How come they don't tell us about how to do taxes and shit? Like, how come they don't tell us how to save or, save for the future, how to borrow money, like, the right way so you gain more credit? I want to talk about stuff like that, definitely show different aspects of, I know a lot of friends that have different career choices and you always think about how they get there. Well, I want them to be honest about how they got there because everyone talk about how the big picture when it's good. Talk about when that shit was bad. Talk about how you slept in the car for 24 hours so you can move into your spot and this is your first time moving out your home. Like, let's just be honest with it. Talk about losing your car because you lost your car, maybe because you couldn't repair because you want to live in a certain place but you don't have it, And I just feel like I want to be honest about how things may look good, but it take a while to get for it to be good and be consistently good. And I do think this is important because I wish I knew a lot of things like financial responsibilities because I'm a queen to spend a check and get it right back. But I definitely wish I knew like better ways to save money, like to keep up with the lifestyle that I know I want to have for myself in a more responsible way. I definitely want to talk about careers because, as I said, I never stayed with the same job for a year. If I don't like it, bye, or we go on to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, you don't have to just stay in something like, because I'm a quitter. I quit the right things. So I want to talk about, you know, quitting the right things. Definitely relationships, because I'm navigating through that myself right now, dating, trying to figure out, do I even like people? Because sometimes for the most part, I don't. I like me. Like, I get up and go how I want to go, and you can't do that when you have a person. So I'm trying to learn how to, you know, cohabitate with sharing my life or letting people in now. So, I mean, we'll talk about that during mental health. Definitely want to talk about that. I just think we more so want to get off the, like, just gossip. We going to have some good stories, but I don't think, like, it should just be, it's education. Like you said, like, it's definitely a lifestyle of where I was now to where I'm going to go, where I want to keep going. And I like that you can record this and listen back to it so you can see the progression. And I definitely want to thank y'all for having us out here, because this was even a learning process itself. Like, y'all done show me what a mic is, the headphones, the setup, the ring light. You know what I mean? I'm just like, not everyone take you one and want to show you something. And that's where it's like, I know y'all gonna be good friends. They no hate. Like, you just want let me show. We want to show other people there's other ways to do things. Like, everybody got different perspectives. It's what you think, what they think, and how you gonna come to a resolution in the middle. And I think if more people just think like that, you get through a lot of things. Like, you don't make it on 10 years of friendship or even 20 with y'all if y'all ain't talk shit out. We ain't harbor on it. We ain't hate on it. We ain't bring it up in malicious ways. Like, I think it's important to just, we all figuring out each other, figuring out ourselves. Let's talk about the real shit of how we are.
Yeah, that's the important piece. And like you said, like the gossip piece, because I want to touch on that, because you find, well, let's start with this. Have y'all listened to other podcasts?
That's all I do.
Okay.
I listen to podcasts all day long.
In the beginning, we were, listening to different ones, just trying to, fill things out. And the number one thing that we came up with was that we're not going to sit around here and gossip, because it's more so the fact that what are you benefiting from discussing somebody else's business, or they act like the people that they're talking about as if they're less than as if they're not a human being, or somebody that's not capable of making mistakes and things of that nature. And I've listened, and I also we listen to both male and females, and we also listen to like men that was all men, all females, and we just got an idea of what we don't want to do as far as our podcasts go. And then on top of that, I've listened to some podcasts like recently, and I found that there were a lot of women bashing when women came onto male podcasts. And I just felt like that was just not cool. It was like, what are you gaining from disrespecting women and just really dehumanizing women and making them feel less than in order for you to gain a like or whatever. And then, some of the questions I seen on another podcast, they're asking questions pertaining to somebody's sexual preference. And I'm like, why would that be necessary for you to know? What are you gaining from knowing?
It's a time and a place.
You're not getting, like, if you're not getting in the bed with this individual, then why are you concerned? And it was like the question, and was more so like as if he was at a police interrogation, and as if he was going to be crucified if he even said anything close to being of the LGBTQ community and other. Like you just sat there and you tried to dehumanize this man and make him feel less than, and then sat around and thought that you were so sharp up there. No, that was, I felt
that's
like
just not a good look. I don't want that kind of energy
that was
coming
weak.
back to me, and I don't put that energy out there.
That was weak.
I feel like when people ask questions like that, it's just so they can set up in their mind how they want to treat you. That's like asking somebody, are you married, or what do you do for work, or like, like what's your sexual preference? It's only so they can calculate in their head how they want to treat you, and that's not the fair way to try to treat somebody. Like, oh, I'm gonna treat you like this because that. It's like, if you vibe with somebody, vibe with them. Like, asking a question like that is like, why?
But I also learned, like, because me, I'm an outspoken person, I probably overshare, and I don't care. Because my thing is, if I overshare, it's nothing that you could ever say back to me that's going to hurt my feelings. Because I told you what it was, and I'm going to live in that truth, and that's going to be what that is. You may not like the answer, you're not going to like how I stand in it, but not everybody that confident, or not everybody be that aggressive with it, but I mean, sometimes you gotta be like, but again, it's a time and a place. Like if we're on a podcast about talking about sexuality, it's okay to ask me that. Like, but ask it in a minute. It's going to ask it in a different manner versus I'm just trying to get you so I can. Oh, you gay? Like, why does that matter? What is that going to do for you? Did you want to talk?
I wouldn't even have answered if I was.
But are you looking to get in the bedroom?
Exactly.
Right. Because I'm confused now. I could see if it was something already pertaining to the interview, and he was like, "Well, Dad, are you getting any backlash based on you coming out about your sexuality or sexual preference or whatever the case may be? You did that for your own personal gain,
right?"
And the man was all tripping all over his words and things, and I felt like he felt like his back was against the wall. He didn't. It was a shock.
I'm a runner.
I'm a runner. I leave. If I'm uncomfortable, I will.
If I don't feel good, I'm turning that shit off and I'm leaving.
His partner knew she was wrong. He up there.
Well, he got quiet because as we already know, and that's another thing to be mindful about during the podcast, speaking to certain topics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's someone's sexuality, I don't touch on religion, I don't touch on politics.
No.
Nothing that's going to create a debate anyway.
Mm-hmm.
No, we could do good debates, but nothing. You are who you are. You believe what you believe. Cool. I'm not going to try to tell you anything different. Then if we're going to talk respectful about it, as far as our perspectives on why we do what we do, cool. But I'm not here to change your mind about anything.
Right.
Yeah. That should like live it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I want to ask, what is it that y'all trying to put out to the universe? Because that's extremely, extremely important. People do everything for a like, a view of this, and it's like, was it worth it?
No.
Yeah, and it's just I don't
selling your soul
crazy
for life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I like the fact that especially if you're not sitting down with people that are mature and are able to handle certain conversations, then they don't need to be had, because a lot of people feel like because they have a strong opinion
it's right. It's just like
they have a strong feeling behind that opinion. They feel like it's a fact. You have a feeling about it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. And you will have somebody literally, argue you down
articles
and sit there and try to come for you as if you're, illiterate or something because you don't agree with what they have going on. It's okay to disagree. That's just the point of having different perspective and different beliefs.
I agree.
But not to project it on other people.
Right. That's funny because that's like our first episode we talk about, because we are going on a girls trip.
Okay.
So in our first episode we were talking about like the stuff that we absolutely have to do when we go, because we are going to New Orleans. And she was like, everywhere I go I do ATVs. I'm like, I ain't gonna mess up your tradition because I'm not doing it. Like, but it's like I would be open to do it, but it's not on the top of my list. So that was like something where we agreed to disagree, and it didn't like cause like conflict, and like I didn't judge her. Like,
you spend your own money. I'm not gonna tell you that. I might want to put my risk at
that's like something she and I'm doing. You can't be mad at somebody for how they like. Like I like ATVs, but I'm in New Orleans. Like I'm just here to eat.
And I want to eat, but I also want to go on there and bike. Like, I'm trying to be with the gators.
Well, let me ask y'all this: the fact that she was like, girls trips, when we talk about what we do, like y'all open to, being able to accommodate each other, right?
Yeah.
Have y'all ever did a girls trip with multiple females? Huh?
Yeah. This is my first one. I've never been on.
I did a girls trip. But
she doesn't lie.
This is our first trip together as friends. It's crazy. As many times we've been out the country, everywhere around the world, this is our first trip together as friends. I've been on a girls trip, and I have to say, like, for me, I know personally being around amongst females, I was the one who didn't know anybody except for my cousin. And I love her to death. The girls were all great separately, but I just don't think they all vibe together. And with 6 females, you got 6 different personalities. Everybody don't want to do what everybody want to do, and you're in a new place. And it's just like, what you came from may not be what I come from. How I speak to people may not be how you speak to people. And it's just like, you can't stop nobody because we all the fuck grown. Like, but I just did. It wasn't, everything wasn't cohesive, and it also wasn't together. I mean, I always have a good time where the fuck I'm at, because I'm gonna look something up. I'm gonna do something I want to do if I spend my money to get on this flight.
Oh, for sure.
But I mean, it wasn't bad. I just think like when it's 5 or 6 girls, unless y'all been friends mad long and everybody knows somebody out that thing, like, it's probably not going to be as cohesive as you think it is. But with 1 or 2 girls, like, I definitely had to say, like, when I go on a trip with like 3 people, amazing, great. We don't care. I'm a person, like, I don't care if you want to do something different. Just tell me, turn your location off. And I didn't, like, if I know you're not a responsible, like, I might have a drunk friend. And that's okay that you want to drink, because I'm a vacation drinker. I don't drink no other time crazy outside of vacation. So I know my friend is a drinker all the time. We gotta go where the hell she going, but we gonna make her take a nap eventually so we can do what we gotta do. Because you can't leave no man behind. But like, it's important to know the people that you travel with, because you don't want to put them in no danger. You don't want to put yourself in no danger either. Because the shit that we can do over here, we might not be able to do over
all
there.
day long.
Okay,
And
so you gotta be responsible. Because I can't. Be
I just laughed because I asked that question based off personal experiences going on trips with people, and people don't vibe, or you have people with a negative attitude.
Yeah.
You know, and nobody wants to travel with somebody with a negative attitude.
Yeah.
You know, it turns you off, because now you think that you're going to sabotage a trip that other people paid their money for, and here it is, you're making it about you because you have underlying issues that you're still trying to work out.
There's no reason to be angry or upset on vacation. Like, you're still on vacation.
I'm on
Like,
vacation.
it could rain the whole time,
And I'm gonna be outside on the beach in the rain because I'm already gonna be wet.
That part, I'm not
like, hello.
Okay.
We have fun though, you know, and you get certain people you're going to vibe with, you're going to have fun with. On trips, it's not all bad, but then you just know you can't bring that, you can't invite that
Next
particular
time.
person or people on a trip.
Like, I know for me, if you're a time crunch person, don't go anywhere with me. I'm never going anywhere on time. I'm not showing up unless we paid like for reservations. If we got to get on a train or a tour bus to get to where we need to go, I'm probably not gonna be on time. I'm sorry, and I just let people know that up front because I know me. So don't be on army time, 9 o'clock in the morning, we gotta go to brunch. I'm on vacation. I might wake up at 12 p.m., 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know. But I'm gonna go when I get up.
Like, one thing about me, I'm gonna take a nap.
Yeah.
So I'm a napper. I take naps all the time. So like, if I'm on vacation, I'm gonna try to fight the urge. But if I take a nap, don't make me like wake up and then everybody's mad. Oh, you had to take a nap, so we couldn't like that.
And it's just like, go
I
outside.
just need to recharge. Like, I'm always tired. I need a nap. So if I gotta sleep on the plane on the way there, and then we get there and we like having a good time, that's fine. But like, I just don't want people to be mad because like
that's why I just like
it's okay to get a recharge.
1 or 3 people that's enough for me. I want to do a real full solo vacation somewhere out the country, but definitely 1 or 3 people tops. Because then 2 people can have someone else to go with when they want to go out, and 1 person want to take a nap. Because I really don't like people going like, I don't know, if you don't know them, don't let them go out by themselves. Yeah, like, it's good to have 3 because somebody could buddy off, or we could like me and her. We go to New Orleans. She gonna want to do what she want to do. I'm gonna have one day where I go do my ATV, and they can do whatever.
I'm gonna still come with you. I may or may not do
but
it.
But I told her
I'm not gonna let you just wander off.
But it's other people there. It's not like a solo activity. I might not know anybody on ATV and when I sign up, but it's a whole bunch of people. So if you want to go eat, I definitely still want to go to the Gator thing.
A whole bunch of strangers.
Yeah, but I'm okay with that. I'm gonna talk to them. Now I'm gonna have friends.
She said she's still gonna go, even though she's not gonna do it.
Yeah, and that's
the support.
Oh, that's another thing. You are friendly, like Nicole, like my sister's going too. I don't know if it's because of like the city we from or whatever. I'm like, okay, if we go on vacation, like, all right, so normally when me and my boyfriend go on vacation, like, people will talk to us and it's like, it's cool, but then when you think you about to keep coming everywhere we come, it's like, all right, like, it was nice meeting you, but let's leave it here. Like, you're not about to follow us to every, oh, we're going next. It's like, we're on vacation with each other, not you.
I have a weird habit of that.
I don't want
friends on vacation.
I don't like this.
I never been somewhere.
Partying and everything cool. Like when we was in the DR, cool, we all partying in here, but that's it.
But y'all ain't about to go
talking to my friends from the DR.
I'm thinking not coming back.
Right. Like,
if we're in the same like hotel or resort, I'm cool with that. We can definitely kick it all night. Like, I think that's always, I maybe always bring them back too soon, but we always be lit. Like, especially if like in Puerto Rico, like you normally stay in the mansion.
Me either. I think everybody trying to do something.
Listen, if we're gonna die, at least I died on vacation. That's what I be thinking in my head.
I think my biggest pet peeve on vacation with a lot of females because we did about
cleanliness.
Yes. Clean that. Pick that stuff up. Put that in there. You gotta go.
Why your suitcase all over the place?
And throw it in the trash.
Pick everything up, please. I can't.
Yeah, we don't do all that on vacation. It's disgusting.
That's why I said 6 people. I mean, but I'm not. We had enough bathrooms. They wasn't dirty or nothing like that. I just don't think that they all vibe within each other because we had a lot of separation. But they were really cool. But I just know like three is the max for me, especially with the bath. But if we have 3 people, we need 2 bathrooms at least. At least, please, because when everybody doing makeup, ain't enough mirrors, especially when you go overseas and other countries. They'll be and you stay in the Airbnbs, ain't no mirrors.
Really?
They really don't. It'd be like one bathroom mirror. They don't be having.
Oh, the bathroom.
Yeah. I'm like, they told them be flushing right all the time, but that's another thing. I hate when people complain, like, when you in another place, like, you know these people, this ain't America, the toilet system's like the same here.
And they tell you
that's insulting though.
They like, oh my god, I had a cold shower.
Like, that's insulting.
I'm like, everybody on this island got a cold shower since they've been here. Like,
yeah, concerned about it.
Yeah. That shouldn't be blowing.
And it's the signs on it. They tell you, the water and things that
is
not pure.
And don't be leaving lights on when you leave out. I hate that. If you're at an Airbnb, you know that's somebody's house. Turn them damn lights off.
I don't know about that.
No, we leaving out. That's my biggest. Turn them goddamn lights and that TV off.
Well, do
they make you pay like the
yes,
lights?
Yes, they do. No, in other countries, yes, they do. They're gonna be on. Yes, I had electricity bills. They get other countries when you go to other countries.
I never stayed.
Because
I ain't going to that hotel.
I be wanting to stay at a hotel, but I'm a smoker, so I need to be somewhere where I can smoke, which is Airbnb. But yeah, you got because they pay a lot of money in electricity. Hotels just pay one subsidized price, but the way they charge people in poor countries, the electricity bill be like more than the rent. It be more than in Puerto Rico. They can't even be they be having electricity for like 6 months at a time without it because it's that high. Yeah, they'll have like candles, do solar systems.
Yeah, they do have.
Yeah,
I ain't even playing with them.
Yeah. So I try to respect it. So I turn, and I'm like, if I was at my home, I'm turning these damn lights up. I don't want my electricity bill high. That shit. But in America, Airbnb just stays on all day.
Yeah, I was about to say I never booked an Airbnb myself. But like if I go, I never even spent the night at one. I always it's either hotel, resort. Like I never stay. But if I do go to Airbnbs, I never knew that.
Yeah, because my thing is like
outside of the country.
I love a resort and a hotel for the limited shit, but like an Airbnb, I can get my patio, my balcony, I can get my backyard, my porch. I got a kitchen because I might want to cook, or I might want to warm my shit up in the oven, and I also need an air fryer. These hotels now don't be wanting to even have a microwave since COVID. I need to have an air fryer.
If I don't plan on cooking on vacation, which is like all the time on vacation, like I don't really need, as long as you got a microwave so I can heat my stuff up. I'm good.
That's all I need.
I don't really need
I hate microwaving. That's why I'm extra.
Like we are getting an Airbnb in New Orleans, but it's not like we really need one. Like we would be okay with just staying at a hotel, but I guess
for that,
people, it's like let's just.
And you get more bathrooms with an Airbnb, and it's a little bit more spacious. I don't have to look at you in the morning time because I'm not the best sleeper. And I'm loud. I snore.
You in the cold? I snore.
I snore, like, mouth open, drools. Yes.
There's a woman I hate.
Yes. I'm sorry. And it's loud too. You on here? 2 rooms. Yeah, 2 rooms over. You
they
hear
it loud, like
especially on Friday. It's over. It sounds like a dinosaur in there.
I'm cracking up.
It's like when I'm sick, I can if my nose and stuff's like sick. I can hear myself snoring and I wake up and readjust the pillow. Why do y'all just keep on sleeping when you snoring? Like it's just crazy.
Peaceful.
Like
a lot of
you gotta wake yourself up. Like I asked my boyfriend, like, was I snoring? And he'd be like, a little bit. I'm like, why you ain't wake me up? Like wake me up. I was
so
for real.
Was I snoring yet? No, I'm like, seriously, was I? Like, that's for me. Was I really snoring?
If I'm sleeping with a partner, I'm definitely, I can't sleep. This is why I don't like sleeping with people. I can't want to really unleash the beast. I can't unleash the beast. Yeah, I never unleash the beast. They're like, no, you were just and I be trying to keep my breathe pattern right. Like,
damn, that's hard.
Like, yeah, I am that fake girl. I'm gonna wake up before you brush my teeth. All of that. Like,
do you be snoring?
Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah, you snore too.
I do.
Yeah,
but friends, I'm snoring.
Not loud.
I only think twice about it.
You never said.
I don't snore. I don't care. Like, I'm not snoring.
Dude, my son, he snores.
Yeah, people snore, but
I didn't know it. Like, I think I'm more so snore when I'm really tired, like real tired,
like exhaustion.
Yeah, I tell y'all that story off the air because
So I mean, do y'all have a question for us? I mean, I know that y'all just starting out with y'all podcast. We've been on for a year and some change now. Like, do y'all have a question for us?
I do. I want to know, like, what keeps y'all going, because we both have a problem with, like, committing to stuff and being consistent. And that's something that we started, like, girl, we got to stay consistent. Like, what keeps y'all going?
I just feel like you got to be passionate about what you're doing at the end of the day, right? Like I said, this is my outlet. And like I said, our mission statement is basically giving people a place to vocalize things we internalize, right, but never get a chance to say them. So I just feel like today, you know, you guys came on, y'all just start your stuff, giving y'all that platform to get your stuff out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the world get to know what you got going on. I mean, we had Black lawyers on here. We had people that was we had so many different people from different walks of life that grace this couch, right? That's able to give their stuff out to the world. So that's rewarding for me. I'm gonna just speak for me because Ash could say what her piece is. And like I said, even if we didn't get a view or whatever, I'm still show up because I enjoy what I talk about, right?
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy it. Like I said, I know I talk a lot. I mean, unapologetically too, right? But if I want to talk about something with substance behind it. But yeah, you just gotta really want it. You gotta really, and like I said again, you'll find you might not get all those views you want. Everybody not going to support you. The people you think is going to support you is not going to support you. I mean, and if you're okay with that, you want to keep pushing, you got to keep pushing. At the end of the day, because I'm gonna show up regardless, right? And that's what you got to know. Like y'all like about to go on vacation. Y'all like could even record a little bit of a video log or whatever.
Do a vlog. Y'all like do a vlog.
I do say, we do it all the time though, because we got our own little, like every place that we go to, we make sure you put it on the social media.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the fact that y'all about to go take a girls trip, y'all can, you know, do a little bit of recording, and that way y'all can like lead up to what y'all want to discuss on that episode, right? So I mean, it's many things, but y'all just gotta want it. Y'all gotta want it. I know y'all used to like not floating because y'all show up for work and things like that. But I mean, like y'all just like doing that. Absolutely, as you should. But this is like, so look at this as a little bit of structure in your life, right? This is something like I gotta show up for. You know what I mean? This is preparing you for the big stuff, like when it's time to be married, time to have those kids. You know what I mean? Now this is your structure. This is just gonna be your little baby right here, right now, right? So look at it like that, because it, you know, we all could be, because I know I'm free spirited, right? But of course I'm structured as well. I gotta be, right? But just look at it like that. Like, just know this is something y'all talked about it for years. This is something you really want to do, and just show up. Show up for you, regardless of who looking. Show up for you at the end of the day. That's my take on it. But what you got, Ash?
I'm naturally I speak, but I like to listen a lot.
Yes, you do.
I'm a listener. I like to hear what people gotta say, and they're probably like, well, why she said it? You know, but I enjoy, you know, giving insight from my learned experiences so people can hear me and understand that they're not alone and things like that. Like, I just like talking to people, you know, but for the most part, I love to hear people's stories, and I like to let people get out what they need to get out, you know, so that's basically my thing. Like, and I just enjoy the person that I'm doing it with, you know. So it's not like, you know, the dynamic is, you know, good, you know. You don't gotta worry about nobody really over talking nobody or trying to overshine, because that's why I enjoy doing it, because it's not a competition thing. Like, we're doing this because we both like speaking, and we talk about a lot of good things behind closed doors. So why not let people hear what we're talking about? Because a lot of platforms that do talk, it's like, it may not be stuff that people want to hear. They want to hear bullshit at the end of the day. And I noticed that, but I'm like, I don't care what they want to hear. Like, long as I got it out there, and I might reach one or two people, that's cool with me at the end of the day. Because going into this, you got to understand that everybody's not going to like what you're talking about. Everybody is not going to really be here for certain things, and it's okay. You're going to get people that want to critique you. They're going to have something to say. They're going to tell you, oh, I don't like the way you said that. Why are you sitting here? Why are you looking that way? Why are you doing this? You know, so it's always going to be criticism, and it's not constructive criticism where they're giving you pointers or giving you tips and giving you insights so that you can grow and be better as a podcaster. They're not giving you those tips. And then not only that, you go in blindsided, but learning and being open-minded keeps me going. Being open-minded about certain things, and just really just being able to always want to learn also keeps me going as well.
Yes, be teachable. That's extremely important in life anyway. Did you have a question for us, or just
not just Kyra. I would say, what was the transition that you felt like was your biggest from the first episode that y'all did together to your 1 year? What was like the peak? What was the peak for both?
So from the first episode to the...
for your yearly one when you heard it, like when you listened to how you talked and how everything went, like even down the schedule
like yes, like
and bring it, and then to your yearly episode when you had your first year episode, like
it was okay. So from the beginning, I'm gonna say like individually, like for me, I would say in the beginning I didn't know how to really speak on camera because that would make me really nervous. Like even now, I still get nervous because when I'm speaking, I want to hurry up and get everything out. So I had to learn how to slow down. And when you listen back to yourself, you start critiquing certain things so you can figure out what it is you need to tweak, what it is you need to do. But at the same time, you still got to keep your personality, still be who you are at the end of the day, because I'm still going to be who I am. I'm going to talk fast, talk crazy, maybe sometimes, I don't know. But from that year episode, and I looked around and I was like, well, damn, we on episode 40, what? Wait, what happened? How did that happen? Like, I'm not even understanding. It happened so fast because we were so passionate about what we were doing, and we were just doing it. And it didn't matter. Like, we was just like had a one-track mind. Like, this is what we doing. This is what we focus on. I don't care who got something to say about it, who getting offended or whatever. So if the shoe fit, wear it type of thing. Like, it is what it is. And I just had to keep that mindset because everybody is not going to, like I said, be geared towards what we got going on.
That is true. I mean, looking back, because at first we would like record without video, right? Oh, that was so fun.
That's us right now.
Listening to that, and that was some good content though. That we never wore out, and that's crazy. And I think about it, but just like having, because even because you it's a learning process, right? It's trial and error. All this is trial and error at the end of the day. And the more you're comfortable with yourself, the more it's easy. It's just easy. Oh, all right, turn that on. Now let's get down. We're about to do this real quick, right? Simple. It's just going to be really easy. Let me see. I guess what episode was it for me? I think that when we brought I would say the teenagers on, but I more so think that maybe it was the woman's episode.
Is that close to like the same episode you discovered it on?
Oh, as far as like how it's
like the number of the episode.
Yeah, cause
kind of sort of because it was like you kind of got to your niche and how you want to speak and how you want to convey your message to people and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I don't know what number was that. Like, was that in the teens?
That might have been. I gotta look at that.
Because we on what's this, episode 50?
No, this 49. 49.
This episode 49. Okay.
That's funny because that's like if it was 30s, not 30 to 20, it's like almost it.
Yeah. So I think that was like in the teens or something like that.
Yes.
But I don't know. It's just like I just felt empowered on that one, right? Maybe because I was sitting around a bunch of other women. We talking about real life women stuff, because this unfiltered discussions. And it was just like, dang, like it made you feel good to be a woman, right? So it was like everything was like let loose on the table in that episode, and I was like, dang, we got
the transparency.
We got this.
Was a good one.
Absolutely, right? So that I think the women's episode is the one that I was like, damn, we doing this. Yeah. And it would just like take off from there, and that's just what it was. So once y'all start doing it, because right now y'all doing it without visual, right? Once y'all add that visual in, and then y'all start seeing certain stuff, because again, once you can't nobody take that from you, right?
That's just who
like
you are.
Say, you're an open book. I mean, I know I'm an open book, but it's to who I choose to be an open book to at the end of the day. Because if I said how you gonna tell me, I said it already. You know what I mean?
I can tell my story, not you.
Yeah, 50 million times over. Yeah, so just be true to yourself. People get up there with these voices. I don't know what the voices are. And who are
the
you?
YouTube
voice.
I ain't even playing. I
can't take it. Like,
hey everybody.
Yes. No.
Welcome to my channel.
I can't hear the voice at this point. I can just hear what you're saying.
It's animated. It's all put together.
You know what I mean? So stay grounded. Stay true to who you are. Like at the end of the day, I feel like y'all bringing something edgy, something fresh, right? Like I said, with the Pushin30s, that give me 90s vibes, right? You know what I mean? Because it does. It's just like, I mean, it's needed right now. At the end of the day, I just feel like, because we pushing 40, right?
Yeah.
So
you put that out there.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, I'm supposed to discussion, right? You would always rep 21, but still, at the end of the day, I just feel like, here it is, y'all in your late 20s, right? And I think about my late 20s is like, still figuring it out, right? because I literally was still figuring it out during those times because there was always something on the plate, no matter what. Like coming out of high school, it's always something on the plate. So I just feel like y'all bringing something that's going to change the game a little bit because it, like you said, the younger people need to hear it, right? Everybody brings something different. That's why it's a million podcasts, right? Mm-hmm. Y'all gonna do your own thing. We bring our own thing, and that's the beauty of it, right? Mm-hmm. It's not gonna hurt us. No, bring them on. You know what I mean? I want them up on this couch, right? Because y'all got something to give that we can't, and vice versa. Like everybody got their own style. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So I just want y'all to, keep doing what y'all doing. Like again, remain teachable, remain open-minded. Yes, it's going to be frustrating at times. For instance, we was recording every Sunday. How we got the 50 episodes. Mm-hmm. Every Sunday we was recording. Guests up on here every Sunday. And then I was like, you know what? We got to slow down because life start happening, right? Mm-hmm. You got to be considerate of other people, things what they got going on. So we was like, you know what? We're going to take a break. Our last episode was the last week of December. Yes. And then we hit it off with the incarcerated episode in February because that was our 1 year anniversary anyway, right? Mm-hmm. So and I was like, nah, we're gonna do only twice a month. Like we done gave them, like we went strong. We went strong and didn't even think nothing about it all day long. Like the content was crazy. So I was like, we was getting all kinds of people up on here. You know what we're gonna do? We're going to revamp because it's extremely important to revamp. And it's funny because Pushin30s right now is like, of course, it's relevant for your ages, what y'all got going on, right? Mm-hmm. Y'all might tweak it a little bit. Like for us, we got LLC on our podcast, right? Mm-hmm. So this is ours, right? This is our stuff. So I don't know if y'all going to do it that way. You know what I mean?
Legalization is definitely the next step because you want to keep what's yours.
Absolutely, because I never heard them Pushin30s. You know what I mean?
So and that's what we look at too.
You don't want nobody stealing that. Because I know, nobody's stealing no unfiltered discussions, right? So that's another thing. So you got to think bigger about it. So when you start putting it on paper, then you know it's real. No, this is our Kyra Robin on this date. That's Pushin30s right there, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? So you got to exactly. Yeah. So that's the thing. So just keep on adding more, right? Because I'm big on vision boards, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. Put them up. You got to have goals for your podcast as well as your everyday life. So just go ahead and make sure you really, really take on it and don't put too much pressure on yourself. Enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Just do your thing. There's no pressure at the end of the day. You get up every day, you can work that job, you make plan those trips, you do whatever you do. Ain't no pressure.
This is a stress-free environment.
Yeah, this is so fun.
That's why I was like, it felt so fun. Like when we recorded our first episode.
Absolutely. I was like, and it sound real, and it's crazy because we did it on one take, and it sound real good.
Yes, it felt like.
That's why it gotta be unfiltered at the end of the day because you have people that get on here and put on a facade, and then you're like, are you trying to tell me about the weather or the news? Like, what's happening here?
No. And it's just so that's another thing. Like our group, our age group, everything on Instagram look good. It's not all fucking good.
Yeah,
they take it before they got their shot.
Yeah, like I don't want to do that with this podcast. Like I need it to be as authentic as possible. You want it to feel
real, like they like.
Yeah, because I want you to say, "Oh damn, like that shit really happened to me too," or you know what, it wasn't as great as I thought it was going to be.
You're relatable.
Oh yeah,
it's a process. Everything's a process at the end of the day. Yeah, and that's what people see, the glitz, the glamour, and they don't see the behind stuff.
The behind the scenes. That's why.
That's what you got to put out there, and that's what's going to separate you from everybody else. Because everybody just put out the finished product. Mm-hmm. What did it take to get here? I mean, what happened? What really? You know what I mean?
That's
some blooper moments, like, you know what I mean. So they could see, like, I'm human too. I'm just like you. Just because you might see the final picture that I just put up there, but you don't know what it took for me to get here.
Yeah. But everybody wanna be this perfect patty, and it's not designed like that. So like when you look at different Instagram influencers or certain people that may not show the inside, because you have a lot of influencers that do show the inside life, but then you got people on the flip side that, God forbid, somebody show who they are, I feel like their world is going to start crumbling down for real.
Yeah.
And one thing about me, I like to provide information to people. So if we don't have no problem like providing insight and different things that y'all need as far as it go, because people act like you taking away from somebody by showing them something. That's what I said. I definitely show y'all what it is.
You can share lessons, you can share journeys. Yeah. Like you said, to being teachable, it's just like if you think you're perfect, you never will learn shit. Right. You'll never get any further than where you are. Mm-hmm. There's always room where you can get improvement. There's always room to be able to take what someone else says if it's constructive. Absolutely. Okay, not hated to, but like it has to be constructive towards what's going on in the subject. Like, example for y'all, like y'all putting this on your tongues, do the legal, have the guests, know when you're supposed to take a break, make sure you stick to your schedule. And it's just like, those are things that we wouldn't know. This is just our first one. Like I said, I never listened to a podcast for real, except for maybe like Don't Call Me a White Girl, like the little snippets that be on Instagram.
I do.
I've never listened to a full one, so I'm like a newborn baby.
I love it because it's real.
It's raw.
Yeah.
It's raw. It's not all tailored. She just
and I knew she was real when she talked about her lashes and nails not being that. Because I got time for this shit all the time, and she'll not have one lash done, and I respect that because really you don't have time. That's the fuck I was doing this morning.
That's kind of good though, because you'll be coming from a perspective like you don't really like, you're not trying to like mirror what you've seen because you didn't really like dive into like other podcasts, and then I'm coming from a perspective of I watch podcasts, I listen to podcasts all the time, but I look at it almost like what not to do, or like what I do like that they do, like in like critique it in a good way.
Well, you get a toolbox.
Yeah, I'm a sponge right now.
You want to take what you need and throw the rest away. So you're gonna have a different. You're gonna bring a toolbox with you. So you're gonna be like, all right, I got this pointer from this person. I got this from that person. So
absolutely. So you can see where Rose is going to be taking, right? She's going to bring the spontaneous part in the podcast, right? She's going to bring more of the so it's going to.
She's trying technology over here. I said, how do you get this sound like this?
It's gonna create that balance.
Exactly.
But
everybody got a role. Long as y'all know your role and don't get into each other's lane.
You already know. And then not only that, I will say that the podcast also, promoted growth within me. Like, absolutely. I felt like it more so like it raised, like I'm aware, but it put my self-awareness on a whole nother level. Like, absolutely. I feel like it for me speaking, it just let me be mindful. I don't know, when you hear yourself, it kind of it's going to allow you to be like, damn, you know what? I could change this about myself. Absolutely. And that's another thing, when you open, being mindful and understanding that, and owning your flaws and understanding them. And certain things you can't change because that's a part of your personality. But if you got certain things that you owning and you willing to work on, that's an important piece too. That's a part of growth. So that this podcast definitely
it's almost like the podcast is going to help us feel accountable. Like if I'm sitting there talking to her like, girl, I gotta try to work on getting the house or whatever. It's like I want to share with the people like, oh, we made progress, we did this, like we accomplished, like we're going to definitely be setting a lot of goals too. It's not so much just like a reflection on being in our early 20s and like now more like we'll be setting goals and trying to achieve them too.
Yeah, let us know along the way. Yeah. And I will say you already helped me overcome a little fear today. So with the camera thing,
thank you.
Yeah, with the camera,
I know you almost forget that it's there.
On camera, So I'm just like, maybe that is the next step we need to take immediately, because I was real nervous about something. Do I really want to show up every day?
They want to know,
and it really do be a lot. I'm just like, it's not like this feels real natural.
Yeah,
talking is always.
Like,
I'm cool with that. Yeah. I can talk to a crowd, 1 million people. I'm cool, but like being on camera, because I'm all about perfection, like visually, like you don't know how you're gonna look, what it's gonna look like. Am I gonna look short? Am I gonna be seen? Like, does my hair look alright? Lips chapped? Is my knuckle ashy?
That's why I had to not focus on trying to be so perfect, because when you start trying to be perfect, it's not, nobody's ever perfect. It's never perfect. It's going to be. Is the point is there's always room for improvement when you go in that mindset. Because when you're trying to be perfect, this is where hiccups come up. This is where you start messing up and things ain't going where it's supposed to go.
It's overthinking at the end of the day. I need y'all to tell the people where they can find your podcast at.
Oh, okay. Our podcast can be found on Apple and Spotify, and
it's at Pushin30s.
Pushin30s.
Yes, spell it out.
That's Pushin 30s. And on Instagram, that's our name as well, Pushin30s.
So push them without the G.
And we drop episodes every Tuesday.
So it's random time, but it will be Tuesday. Yeah.
Okay. No, it's not random. It's 12 a.m.
Monday. 12 a.m.
That's Tuesday.
Night, like late morning, late night kind of thing.
Yeah, it'll drop. Like if you work on night shift, you could tune in. It'll drop, and then if you work in the morning, listen to it on your way to work.
Like the quiet storm.
Yeah.
Okay, well then that's what it is. So find them on Instagram at Pushin30s, Spotify, Apple Music, and let's make sure you hit that follow button. It was a pleasure to have y'all on. I wish y'all, absolutely. much success. We definitely gonna be tuning in. You know, we always. We just need something else to listen to, right?
We'll come back and do a mukbang.
Oh yeah, we can do that.
But yeah,
Okay, I'm down for that.
Yeah. So that's what it is, and this is Nash signing off.
And signing off.
And Kyra.
And Robin.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.